Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Joe Kort, and today I'm going to talk about gay men and their use of hookups as pseudo intimacy. I'm the director and owner of the Center for Relationship Health in Royal Oak, Michigan, and I am also a therapist who work with gay men, and I've been in the field 41 years. And what I've noticed is that many gay men use hookups not to make and create intimacy, but as a means of feeling less lonely and having and experiencing what I call pseudo intimacy. The gay community, especially the gay male community, can be very, very lonely. People come in my office, my friends talk about being on the apps, having difficulty finding people, talking about the difficulty in keeping people and the dating situations. Let's face it, any generation, any gender, any person that's having wherever they live in Detroit or New York or Chicago, people struggle with these dating sites. And I'm not anti hooking up. I want you to hear that. Hookups are great. They're transactional. They're easy and they can be fun and people do them and there's not an issue. The issue is when somebody replaces intimacy with the hookups. So they'll come into my office and they'll say, I really want a partner. I really want a boyfriend. I can't find anyone. In the meantime, they're having all these hookups. Now, in a nutshell, of course, there's nothing wrong with that because having hookups is filler until you meet somebody, but it can also replace meeting somebody. It can also replace the social networking that you're trying to make. Now, let's be honest as well about gay men. We often hook up and then become friends. We often hook up and then become dating partners. So that's not uncommon either. But in the straight male community, it's often women that slow things down and say, let's get to know each other for a minute. Let's go to coffee. Let my cat meet your cat. I'm being funny, but that sort of like slow this down so that we can see if there's something between us rather than going right to the actual bedroom. And there's nothing wrong with that again, but there is something wrong with it if you're looking for real intimacy. It can replace intimacy skills. Let's talk about growing up male. We stop touching boys earlier than we stop touching girls, holding them, hugging them. We tell males, don't have your feelings. We talk them out of their feelings. We teach little boys to turn their backs on vulnerability. So then they become men, adult men, and now they can't be vulnerable. Now they have trouble with emotional vocabulary, being in touch with their emotions. Remember, they were talked out of this. And now touch is still hungry. Males are still hungry for touch, but touch becomes sexualized, eroticized, because that's the only way they can touch because we stop touching them and we don't give them permission. When I'm in the airport, I'll see groups of girls and women sleeping against each other, brushing each other's hair. And one woman might say to another woman, I need to use the restroom. You want to come with me? Males don't have permission. You don't see men brushing each other's hair, grooming each other, sleeping against each other. People would identify them as too gay, they would call them. And there's prohibitions against that in the masculine code, in the patriarchal code. I know people are watching this going, well, there shouldn't be. Well, there shouldn't be, but there is. So then these men grow up and don't know how to be in relationship, don't know how to create intimacy. And for straight men, they do learn that from women because women have not been taught to go outside their feelings. They have not been taught to turn their backs on vulnerability. But as gay men, we have an extra layer. That extra layer is the fact that we're taught to run from each other, run away from other people for safety reasons growing up gay. So growing up gay, I don't want to be around the effeminate kid. I don't want someone to think I'm gay. I don't want to get too close to that one or be seen as gay. So I'm removing myself and turning my back on other gay males so that people don't identify me. It's for survival purposes. But then that becomes a way of life. And so now in adulthood, the whole idea of relationship is to run toward each other. And I just notice a lot of gay men don't know how to do that, don't have the skills to do that. And there's so much loneliness and so much disconnection. It can make you feel like I'm connected to the gay male community. I did a video on this on TikTok in a shorter version. And some of the guys were like, well, I think you're generalizing. I just use it for transactional. That's great if you know why you're using it. But if you're also struggling with, I'm not building a network of friends, I don't have my family of choice, I'm not finding the partner that I'm looking for, you might want to step back and go, am I using the hookups to fulfill a need that if I don't do hookups, that the need might be there and for me to grow it and work through it rather than act on it and bypass it. I'm Dr. Joe Kort. You can follow me on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. If you like this video, click the follow here and subscribe. And I will hope to see you for another video. Thanks so much for listening.